Welcome to digestion yoga. We're going to do some yoga asana for digestion and elimination and general gut health. We're going to do about 5 asana if we have time. So we're going to start with the bellows pose. You may have done this pose in a yoga class before. It's not uncommon in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika as it exists in a number of traditions. This is a great asana to do before you get out of bed in the morning. You can actually do this in your bed first thing in the morning, and it'll start off your day with some good attention to the core and the digestive system. So you're going to bring your left leg in and put your hands on it. Bring the knee in as close to the chest as is comfortable and let all the air out. And the inhale is going to push that leg right back out onto the ground. And then exhale the right leg in. Kind of kick that leg out. Exhale, bring both legs in. Letting all the air out. Exhaling the left leg in. All the air out. Really filling the belly with air on the inhalation. Exhaling all the air out. This will often cause people to release gas. That's a good sign, actually. It makes it a little awkward to teach in a class full of people. But it's called bellows pose. It's also sometimes called wind pose. Right leg up. All the air out. Both legs up. Left leg up. You can do 8 of these therapeutically. If you really have some major gut issues, you want to do 8 of these before you even get out of bed. Keeping exhaling, exhaling, exhaling. A big breath in that kicks the legs back out. Just stimulating the gut a little bit. And now we're going to do Paschimottanasana asana. This is a less common asana. You may not have seen it before. You may want to watch it a couple times before attempting it. It's got a few steps to it, and it also has some pranayama with it. So we're going to inhale and really reach the arms up, reach the toes down and stretch. And then exhale, you're going to kind of hold your breath there for a second and reach down and grab the big toes. Pinch the big toes quite firmly and rest the forehead in the knees. I'm letting all the air out. On the inhalation, I rise up and exhaling, rolling down slowly. Putting the arms up over the head, inhaling, stretching. Exhale, let all the air out. If you can keep the knees straighter, that's fine, but it's important that the forehead connect with the knee and that you pinch the toes more than it's important to have the legs straight. So let go of the legs being straight and rest the forehead in the knees. As soon as you're hungry for breath, breathe in and reach up. And then controlled roll down with the spine, rolling down vertebrae by vertebrae. Inhaling, drawing all the breath that you can into the lungs. Exhale, let all the air out, 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 resting the forehead, quieting the mind. Pinching the big toes to stimulate the pineal gland. As soon as you have the desire to inhale, really fill the lungs on that inhalation and then slowly exhaling down, bringing the arms over the head. Big inhalation, big stretch. Exhale all the air out. Calming the system, relaxing the system. Sending the message to the body, everything's all right. Reaching. You can continue and do 4 more of those for a total of 8 is a complete round. So therapeutically, you'll want to do 8 of those. And if you have few toxins, if you don't drink or eat a lot of red meat, you can do that twice a day to really help strengthen these organs and glands and neurotransmitters messages in the gut. So we're going to roll to our side and push ourselves up. I always joke that when you're developing your personal practice, you want to have one asana that you love to do and one asana that you hate to do. This is an asana I hate to do. Guess what? That means it's really beneficial for me and I really need to do it, which is usually true of the asana that you most dislike. So I'm going to do a very modified version of this pose. I'm actually not able to do full peacock. It's a little easier for men to do this pose because of where their center of gravity is. Women have to lean further forward to balance, and that can be pretty tricky. We're not going to worry about this as a balance pose. You can look up online and see the full pose. If you are quite strong in it, you'll be able to balance up on with your legs back behind you and all that. But it's important also to realize that even if you don't do that, you can get the full benefits of the pose just by pressing into the gut here. We call it third chakra in yoga. So for women, this is a little more challenging of a pose, both because of our center of balance, unless you're a very slim-hipped woman, but also because of the breast tissue. So you've got to somehow get your arms underneath, or you can kind of mush your breasts if they're kind of smaller. But most of us will kind of have to squeeze the breasts in and let the elbow be right on the belly. So again, if you have strong wrists and hands, you'll be able to do the hands like this or like this. It's really like this. Because of my wrist challenges, I just make a fist and balance myself here. But I'm not really even balancing. I'm going to exhale all the air out, and I'm just going to put as much weight as I can on my belly. Letting all the air out. And you'll see that my head tipped forward. If you're trying harder to balance, you might want to have a block or something in front of you for the forehead to land on. Or sometimes you can even make a little stack. Sometimes I start the pose here and then just try to balance from there. So whatever you prefer, the important thing is that you're putting this as much weight as you can on the gut here. So we do 3 of these. So we did one already. We're going to exhale. And you may be able to lift the legs up off the ground and balance. Taking a breath, maybe rolling the shoulders a little, rolling the neck, stretching out anything that may have gotten cramped up trying to do that pose. Peacocks can eat anything. So this is to strengthen our gut, help us to be stronger internally. Letting the air out. It can be really hard to get your elbows in together, and a lot of teachers will have you actually bind the elbows. You can bind the elbows, help you to keep them in. This is really strengthening my belly, even though I wasn't in full peacock. And if you're more athletic than I am, or a man, men particularly have an easier time with this pose, I encourage you to look it up online. There's plenty of people teaching peacock. Now we're going to do Udayana Bandhu. And I can't stand up. Normally, I don't want to have to change my camera. Normally you stand like this to do this pose, leaning on the knees a bit. I'm going to teach it sitting down since I don't have my cameraman handy yet. So, Udayana Bandhu is an exhalation. We're going to do a bandha means lock. So we're going to lock this sphincter of the muscles in the gut. And to do that, we exhale all the air out. We actually exhale the air to the point of sort of creating this little suction. You've seen babies, or maybe you did this as a kid, you might remember. I'm going to try to demonstrate this without showing my little middle-aged belly to you, but let's just see if I can do it with my shirt on. So I'm going to pull the shirt back and let you see. I have a nice, soft little spot that I store fat because I'm a middle-aged woman, and that's where we store our fat. And fat is essential for a lot of our functions, so we accept that. It's okay. Good belly. But I'm going to suck it in. First I'm going to inhale, and then I'm going to exhale all the air out, pushing my belly button toward my spine. So you'll feel a little suction. You might notice a little suction here when I do that, and you're kind of suctioning in. This takes a little time to develop sometimes. It's a kind of a weird, unusual thing to do. So give yourself some time, but it is one of the most powerful things to strengthen your abs and your core, but also to especially your digestion. I'm just going to not be shy and let you see my belly so you can really see what I'm doing here. I'm going to, again, take a deep breath. suctioning and putting some pressure internally on the intestines. So let's do that again, a deep breath. Can you sort of see that little bit of a suction that we create there? So now we're going to do Anusara Mudra. That one is just repeated 3 times, but you can do that, 2 or 3 times throughout the day and strengthen your internal organs. So now we're going to do Anusara Mudra, Agnisara Mudra. So we in the system of Tantra that I study, and there's many different stories and versions, but sometimes you just have to pick one that works for you. According to Sri Sri Anandamurti, wonderful yogic guru, the 3rd chakra is the shape of a triangle. It points upward, up, so it roots here in the belly button at the bottom of the triangle, and then it points up to the heart chakra, which is smoky, and this is fiery. It's described as, it's called Manipura chakra, which means many jeweled city, and it's described as being like the embers of a fire. So we kind of think about stoking the fires of our digestion, but we also talk about having a fire in the belly, having the guts to do something, not having the stomach for something. We really associate this area with a lot of emotional, psychological things, as well as just its physical function. And there's as many neuropeptides and neurotransmitters here in the gut. Almost, I think there is as many or almost as many as in the brain. Some people call it the second brain because of that. Huge amount of activity happening here chemically, hormonally. So in order to sort of stoke the fire of digestion and make your digestion work well, we do Agni, which means fire, Agnisara Mudra. And Mudra means it also has more of a effect on the mind, or the more subtle layers of the body, the mind-body. So you can also really draw your mental image here as well if you like, and do either imagining that you're stoking the fires, or in my case I have a lot of heat, and so I'm going to imagine more cooling and quieting images. Maybe I'll think of blue instead of yellow or orange or red. So I'm going to put my hands so that the middle finger is pointing right toward the belly button, and my hands are on my waist. The belly's soft. I'm going to inhale. Exhaling, I'm going to lean forward, and I'm going to really press, really pushing those fingers into the belly. And I'm kind of massaging in there. I'm letting all the air out. And I'm really digging around in there. The instruction of this, and of course there's a very skinny Indian guy in the picture. The instructions is that you're reaching and massaging your spine. For most of this, maybe not so realistic, but you really are reaching in there. I'm really digging in and massaging very directly, and this will really help your digestion. We're going to do 2 more. So inhale, exhale all the air out, lean forward a bit, push the fingers into the belly and massage. Inhale as soon as you have the desire and lean back up. Exhale forward, pushing into the belly. And releasing. Those are some of the key asana for strengthening digestion, helping with elimination issues, and general fortitude in the area of will and drive. This is the fire that really gives the power for all of our action in the world. Here's where our strength and our core energy that radiates out, down and up throughout the body. This is a very important part of our health, both physically, obviously, but also our health here affects our mental and emotional states as well, and they're learning that more and more. Of course, there's many dietary things that we can do, supplements and things like that. We'll talk about that at another time. We're going to do about 5 minutes today of relaxation if you want to join for that. So just lay down, get comfortable, maybe roll a blanket up underneath the knees if you like that. Lay back, lengthen the spine, let yourself wiggle around and enjoy feeling where your body connects to the earth, represented by your floor or your mat. And with the palms down for a breath, just noticing this feeling of being very grounded, very connected to the earth, very warm and safe. Releasing whatever tension comes to your attention and comes into your mind. You notice. And it's okay to do a little stretch here and there as you settle in. You may feel, oh wait, my neck is tight, my legs are tight. So go ahead and do what you need to do to wiggle and get comfortable. And then the legs are a little apart from one another so they're not touching, and the arms are a little away from the body. And let's go ahead and turn the palms up. And just maybe notice if that feels any different. This might feel more open and receptive. Just letting the body release and relax. Melting the muscles off the bone, just letting everything release. And imagining that you're drawing the energy. Notice the energy on the bottom of the feet. Notice any sensations on the bottom of the feet. And imagine all the nerve endings here in the feet. Just imagine them receiving messages. And if you have neuropathy in the feet, just imagine what it would feel like to feel the energy of all those little nerve endings on the bottom of the feet. And you may just imagine that energy has a color or a bright light to it, something cheerful, something energetic. And you can imagine that light or that energy, or maybe you imagine it as a tingling sensation. Whatever it is, you can just imagine it moving up through the ankles, relaxing the ankles, up through the knees and the calves, releasing any tension in the knees and the calves. Drawing that energy or that light up the thighs, through the pelvis and the hips. And imagine that energy gathering in the belly. A bright, clear, maybe warm energy. Maybe you can imagine that if you had a message to send to your belly, maybe if you had a thought you would like to send to your belly, a request, a question, whatever may come to mind, this could be a great time to imagine that you could communicate with your belly. belly responds very much to anxiety and stress, and so we might want to send a message that everything is okay. Belly can relax. You may even like to bring the warmth of the hands, maybe a gentle touch or just resting the hands on the belly. What feelings of love and acceptance do you have for your belly? As you imagine this light, you may begin to imagine it drawing together, becoming more focused. And allow it also to become more clear. So it's more of a white, focused light. You may even be able to pinpoint that focus very close to the belly button or the spine, adjacent to, parallel to the belly button. Just imagining a bright, clear, healing light or energy or sound, vibration or image to heal and relax the gut. And while you were asking your body if it was willing to listen to you, maybe you can explore how you're willing to listen to your gut. If it has some things that it really would request for you not to ingest, maybe you can just listen for those cues from the belly and notice if you're able to surrender to them rather than fight against those messages. You may even make an agreement that you'll try to listen to what the belly is craving, but with an awareness that sometimes when the belly is really out of balance, it will crave things that aren't healthy. So just bringing that awareness into balance. When do I listen to the cues of my belly, and when do I need to rewire those cues? And you may even imagine yourself at the table or in the grocery store. You may even imagine yourself having this communication with your belly, with your gut. And taking a nice deep breath, just placing the hands down on the floor, affirming your connection to the earth and your willingness to care for and listen to your belly. Bringing the feet flat to the floor, bending the knees, and maybe bringing the knees in for a little roll, a little rock and roll, and just knowing that this is the furnace that fuels all your energy, all your activity in the world. It's what you put in here that builds all the cells of your body, the healthy fats that help your neurological function, all the micronutrients that you need. Just imagining your belly really being able to absorb those nutrients, and allow your intestines, imagining your intestines releasing any toxins through the bloodstream. Thank you so much for joining me today. Your comments, questions, likes, and shares are very appreciated as they help us get the message out that yoga is for healing as well as for exercise and flexibility. Namaskar.